Hi everybody, I'm back again with another Hot Toys figure video. This time it's a figure that's been out for quite a while. I just haven't got round to doing a video on him yet, so I thought it was about time that I got him out and did it. This is John Matrix, obviously Arnold Schwarzenegger from the film Commando. Came out back in the 80s. Pretty cheesy film, but it's watchable. And this is an absolutely stunning figure, and it's good value for money as well, compared to what you get with a lot of Hot Toys figures. So I'll just go over his accessories first. We'll take a look at the figure as you can see him there, and then I'll show the figure with all the accessories put on him. So first thing he has, he's got 7 interchangeable hands, 2 that you can see on him at the moment. He's got a gripping hand there and a slightly more open palmed gripping hand. He has this one when it focuses, which has got a little bit of camouflage on it, and that's used for gripping the barrel of the gun. Got a trigger finger, only one trigger finger though, doesn't have 2, which is a shame, so you can't have him firing 2 guns. He's got this more aggressive gesturing open palmed hand that you see with a lot of the Marvel figures. Again, it's got a little bit of the camouflaging on it, and he's got 2 fisted hands, nice detailing on the hands, and the other hand has got a slight bit of camouflage on it. We'll go over the stuff on the figure in a little while, but he's also got this hunting knife. It is plastic. Again, it looks metal, it's a really nice detailing on it, quite sharp as well. Here's the handgun. It's got a sliding action, you can see the bullet in the top. And as usual with all Hot Toys figures, sorry about the blurriness there, the clip does come out showing you the bullet in the end. It's really nice detailing on the gun, quite large handgun. Then he has the pretty standard fare shotgun that you see with a lot of Hot Toys figures. Let's put it down here, hopefully it'll show up a bit better down here. There we go, that's much better. It does have the pump action movement as well. It's quite stiff. I wouldn't advise doing it too often because it'll probably scrape the paint off. And on the end there, it's got the resemblance of like a sighting effect. Nice detailing. Next up we have the Uzi. The shoulder rest does come out. And obviously the clip, if I can do it one-handed. Sorry, I had to put a pause in there to get it out, but the clip does come out as well, showing the bullets at the end. So that's the Uzi. Let's put it back together, ready for displaying it with the figure. First, again, nice detailing. Next up we have the large caliber gun. Looks like a larger version of the AK-47. Obviously I'm not an expert on weapons. A lot of people out there be shouting at me what it is. The rest does come open, but because it's quite delicate I don't like messing about with it, but that does come down so you can actually stand it up on that as well. This part does spring back as well. And the clip does come out as well, showing the bullet in the end. But it's a nice looking gun. And finally, for weapons, he has the rocket launcher. The sight does come up and opens out. And I'm hoping the camera's going to pick that up. You can just see in there slight little red bits. That's to represent the rockets that are actually in it. They don't come out. It's nice detailing on it, just as it was in the film. So I'll put a little pause in here and we'll take a look at the other accessories on the figure itself. Okay, so here we have the figure on its own. As you can see, it's got 3 of these little bombs that already come attached to the jacket. He also has these shells that you have to put in. And around his neck we have his binoculars, and they do bend in the middle, so you can fold them up slightly. Moving on down, there's the pouch for where his knife goes, which you'll see in there a little bit later on. In these bags we've got a couple of claymores. I'm not going to take them out because they're a bugger to get in there, they're quite tight. One thing you do have to be careful of with this is these little buttons here do come off. That's quite a common fault with a lot of Hot Toys figures. The jacket you have to put on. It's quite tight as well, which is why I haven't done it all the way up. You can see it's pulling a little bit there. It says in the instructions that not to keep the jacket on for too long because it can stain the body underneath, which I find a little bit strange. So my advice is either show it with the jacket on or off. Don't keep changing it around, because if the colour does come off you will notice it. I'm always going to keep him like this. All these nice little pouches as well on the jacket. This is quite tight as well, where it connects around his groin, so be careful when putting this on that you don't break these, because it can happen. So it is quite tight. There's his cloth holster for his gun. I believe it's a Desert Eagle, I'm not 100% sure. Moving on round to the back, so he's got 2 of these bags. Not sure what they're for, but they're just hanging there. Also at the back he has, I've just forgotten about this one, this little knife. Take it out. Again, it's plastic. And the strap is just there for holding it in. I don't know if he's got one on the other side. Yes, he does have one on the other side as well. Just see it there. It's been a while since I've looked at this figure, so I've forgotten exactly what he does come with. So I carry on moving him around. We have his watch. Quite nicely detailed. It It's rubberized arms. The body underneath is actually quite superb, really, the way it looks. It's quite a highly sought after body for customizing and kit bashing figures. But it's rubberized arms. As I say with all these sort of figures, do not pose it up in extreme poses for too long, because the rubber will probably crinkle up and probably split and break. Move on down to the boots. Sculpted boots with a little bit of weather and effect, and the Hot Toys basic stand. Excuse me. It does have a belt underneath, just about pick it out there. But again, with these little buttons, do be careful, because they do have a tendency to come off. Moving on up to the head sculpt. Pretty good likeness to Arnie. Not one of the best, but it's pretty damn good. Certain angles it does look like him. It's just slightly off to me. Especially there, doesn't really look like him too much. Looks a bit better from the side. Obviously from certain angles, catching it up like that maybe. Slight more resemblance to Arnie. But he was quite young when he made this movie. I believe he was in his late 30s. Great paint apps on the face, as always with Hot Toys. And it doesn't really have lifeless eyes. There is a little bit of life in those eyes there. But yeah, that's the figure in general. So what I'll do now is put a pause in and show you him with all the equipment on. Okay, here we have John Matrix with all of his equipment on. The knife has got a magnetised little button there that you have to put on, or sort of put over. It's a little bit tight, sometimes it keeps flipping off. In his hand we have his shotgun with his Desert Eagle in the holster. Moving on round to the back. Got his machine gun on there. And obviously in his hand he's carrying the rocket launcher. Don't really need to pose this figure up any other way really, unless you're going to show him without the jacket on. Then you might have him holding the shotgun and shooting it, or the machine gun. But for me, I try to put as many accessories as I can on my figures, just so I can show as much off as I can, which is why I'm having him this way. I suppose I could, because of the strap, somehow put that over him as well. I'll probably do that later. But it looks a bit too much with two guns on his back, which is why I just show it on his stand. But there you go, there's the John Matrix figure. As I said, you get quite a good value for money for this figure. You get a lot of accessories. There's a lot of figures out there that are going for the same price as this, or you can buy the same price as this, and you don't get hardly any accessories at all. Offhand, just thinking of the Days of Future Past Wolverine. With him you only get a couple of pairs of hands and that's it. But this one you get all this lot. So it is good value for money. I'm not sure what prices these are going for now on eBay. I'm sure they're a little bit more than when it first came out. But yeah, great figure. One of my favourite Arnie figures in my collection. I do have a few. I think I've got about 5 or 6 in there now. But it's up there with them. So yeah, just a brief sort of video on this figure. Reason I only did a brief one is because it's been out for a long time and there's lots of videos out there on this guy. Next up, I'm looking at my cabinets now, trying to think which ones I haven't done yet. It looks like it's going to be my Luke Devereaux from Universal Soldier, which is obviously Jean-Claude Van Damme. I've not long had him, so I'll do a video on him next. It really is a nice looking figure. And after that, possibly my Riddick. So stay tuned for those. I might do a couple of filler videos in between if I get a bit of time. So as always, thanks for watching, and take care. See you on the next video.